Good morning, everybody. My name is Eltimar, and we are going to be continuing our Let's Play of Pillars of Eternity, The White March. Where we left off last time, we were trying to do all this stuff in the workshop. We have found some sort of prisoner who needs to be rescued. So let's try with that. Broken construct. Ha! Your money or your life, friend. A tinny voice arises from the chest of this headless machine. From time to time, a burst of sparks accompanies the rattling of its innards. You can't be serious. This is no jest. There's a toll on these roads, friend. 500 copper, or you'll have a new set of nostrils to breathe out of. The construct's hands twitch spasmodically. I'm going to be... But you're a construct. What? Is this some kind of insult? I'll show you a concept if you don't hand over your money. A faint, ominous glow emerges from within the creature's chassis. We're not on the road. You really are lost. Tell you what, pay up and I'll point you to Log Home. That's a decent trade, isn't it? My volume's really loud. Give me one sec, guys. Sorry. You can see my Steam screen. There we go. That should be a little bit better. I think it was a bit loud. Now it should be better. Good. But you're in a cell. Look around you. A philosopher, is it? All of us are trapped within cages of our own iniquity. I'll have none of that. There is a manic quality to the voice now, and you hear a harsh metallic whine from within the construct's frame. Just look at yourself. You're a broken machine. You use some very peculiar insults, I have to say. Even so, you'll regret those words. I can't have people saying I've gone soft, can I? The construct suddenly lists sideways, arms akimbo. Huh. That's odd. I swear I had my knife. I've always been very good with knives. Her voice tricks on an edge of panic. Where are my hands? I don't. Where am I? What is happening? There's a sudden harsh metallic squeal, and the construct pulses with a fierce light as it lurches towards you. Right then. Who's in the front? Aloth, who will die. Let's get everyone back. That's Canna. Canna's not very good at taking hits either.
Yes. All right then.
Go, construct, or go, Eddie, or go. If he blows up, I don't want anyone else to blow up. We'll use ranged people.
How may I help?
As long as they stay at a range. There we go. Problem solved. We got some sort of thing. I wonder if there's a quest for that or something. I might have done it wrong because I killed the guy. But that's okay. I'm sure he deserved it a little bit at least. Now there is a hallway here. But we've not found a lever for it. There's definitely something there. Was there anything in this room aside from this cage? Not that I can see. Is there a button that we're missing? Let's, aha! That figures. There's always hidden buttons everywhere. Let's advance it in carefully. Excuse me. Alright, so there's 60 bucks, and
simple test.
Looks like a hard lockpick, but we'll use one of our lockpicks for it, which has a ton more lockpicks in it. So it was a good trade. We traded it up. Oh, crap. At least they're all still alive. We need to head back to town after this. You, and you. Stay back.
Well, I'll see it done.
No, you won't do that because you'll kill everybody. You do that. And some gauntlets, which have might +2. Those actually may be useful for somebody in our group. Like one of our paladins or something. Everybody unstealth. I think that's the end of this place. So let's get out of here. We're going to go back up. It wasn't exactly what I planned on doing. There we go. We're going back upstairs to get out of here. I still think my volume's too high. Maybe not. I don't know. I'll watch my volume. I'm just kind of jumping up high. You know what? We'll leave it for now and we'll see what happens. Or let's just poof down like a couple more inches. There, that's better. Normal talking volume looks pretty good. And let's get back into the game. Sorry about that, guys. Had to take care of the minor volume problem. So we have finished the workshop. We now know how to get into the battery. We need to get a cipher of sorts. And we basically have to speak friend and enter to get in. And once we do that, we'll be good to go. But first I think we need to go back to town because we need camping supplies. Oh, a lot of our people are at 1 hit point and will very literally die if they take another hit. If I go up north, can I leave this area? I'm hoping so. Please don't let there be any enemies between me and the exit. That would be really, really good.
The fire shows me something new.
Well, I mean, there's gold. And a crappy sword and a crappy... Oh, camping supplies. Maybe we don't have to go back to town. Haha. Excellent. I think we'd still do, though, because of our journal log will probably tell us to go there. Find a villager in Stalwart whose sole ancestor is a dwarf of Durgan's Battery.
Yes.
So yeah, we do have to go back to town. The road continues before turning sharply into the pass beyond. We cannot leave the map on that side, which is really unfortunate, which means we have a long run across the country. Which brings me to my next point. I am super duper excited about starting Neverwinter Nights in a couple days here. I think I'll be able to finish Witcher 3 Hearts of Stone and this game shortly. And when I do, now my volume's too quiet. What the hell? Recording, guys. It's such a pain in the ass sometimes. Alright, let's try that. Anyways, we will be finishing The Witcher 3 and this game, hopefully within the next week or so. And then we'll be beginning Neverwinter Nights. I'm going to do the entirety of the saga. It's my next big project. There's going to be no games interrupting it unless there are DLCs that come out for Pillars of Eternity or The White or Witcher 3 that need to be done. So I'm basically just going to start on Neverwinter Nights 1, the very beginning, go through all of that, go through Shadows of Undrentide, go through Hordes of the Underdark, and then off to Neverwinter Nights 2 and Mask of the Betrayer. And I think that's it. I think there's a couple other little DLC campaigns or something in there, but that's going to be our goal, is to finish all of Neverwinter Nights. So it's going to be a huge undertaking. It's going to be months in the making. I'm going to estimate it's going to be about 200 to 300 videos or more to do the entirety of the series from beginning to end. So it's going to be awesome. It's going to be pretty good, I think. But it's going to be my sole project for a little bit at least. Let's go to the inn. Then we gotta find a dwarf soul. It's gonna be interesting. There is a dwarf that runs this inn, I believe, so maybe he is the one we need. I guess we'll find out very shortly once it loads. There's also another dwarf here by the name of Villager. Oh, he's not a... Oh, he is a dwarf.
Back to warm your hands, eh? What can I do for you?
Well, let's take a room first. Let's get some... We'll pay up. We have lots of gold. Get some might and stuff like that. Let's read his soul. You see a dark room, or sorry, you see a room, dark and damp. A cellar. It looks like part of the inn rather than an old fortress. Though, or through Hefrick's eyes, you admire rows of gleaming bottles, recently dusted and polished. As you step back from the shelves, you look on with satisfaction at a pressure plate concealed in the stone floor.
All right. I won't serve you if you're already drunk, you know.
He is not what we're looking for. How about you, random villager? Nope. Not even a named... Why is there children in the bar? I hope they're not getting alcohol, although that isn't uncommon in some older cultures. Children were allowed to drink, unlike ours. There's no dwarves here. Let's just go talk to people. Ah, it's our ogre-slaying friend. Have they crowned you King of Stalwart yet? Oh, shut up. My friend doesn't mean to be an ass, sir. It just comes natural. Let's read their souls. A handful of memories dart across your mind like a startled fish, leaving an indistinct images and sounds in their wake. For a moment you are overwhelmed until one particular recollection tugs at your senses with stubborn force. You, or Andred, or both, kneel on the stone floor, held between two men. The man pacing in front of you wears the armor of a crucible knight, and you feel Andred's half-hearted contempt for him as if it were your own. You feel Andred's triumph, too, when the knight comes just close enough for you to spit blood on his boots. The memory slips away from you, and you find yourself back in your own shoes. Read Beerthwin's soul. Whiff of salt and brine is in your nostrils before the room has even faded. The ground heaves beneath your feet and a spray of ocean water roars over the railing as the ship heels under the wind. The ship shudders violently and you are thrown against the railing. In that moment, you find your gaze pulled to the pitching surface of the dark sea and see there is an eye, broad as a shield, gazing back at you in turn. Fear and fascination sweep through your mind, even as your senses recede and the memory fades. Not him, then. Alright, I need more named people. Katie died.
Oh,
Whatever.
it's you. I'm so glad you came by. I hoped I'd have the chance to thank you properly. They told me what happened. God's bless you, sir. I owe you my life.
Alright, I freed her or something.
Of me to run in there. But this ring is all that I have of my family.
How are you holding up?
Oh, I'm managing. Fenway's letting me stay with her until I'm back on my feet. Everyone's been lovely, really. It was hard seeing what's left of the house. But Rayvald says he's going to see a hut raised for me soon as they get the logs.
What's so special about the ring?
When he first settled here, my grandfather had a ring fashioned from the first batch of ore he excavated.
I asked what was so special about the ring anyways, I just forgot to say it.
Commemorate his fresh start. He passed it on to his daughter, and my mother gave it to me in turn.
Well, there you go. You're welcome for saving your life. The cook? Maybe. Let's try the cook. Nope. Anybody else with a name in here? If not, we gotta go find somebody else. Villager. Random room. Alright,
Something
Owena.
I can do for you? Halfrick's got me straightening the rooms, but I'll help you if I can.
Alright, let's see your soul. You feel Owena's essence almost instantly, find yourself wrapped in darkness. It takes you a moment to realize you plunged into a very old memory. But as your eyes adjust to the torchlight, you find yourself standing in a gloomy tunnel that you instinctively recognize as part of Durgan's battery. A handful of figures in patchy cloaks and hoods, dwarves like you, hunch over a minecart. They're loading it with cloth-wrapped bundles from which you see the occasional flash of metal, the edge of a blade, or the burnished glow of a plate. The other dwarfs scurry with a curious mixture of haste and caution. They stack the bundles in a din of muted clangs and thumps, following the echoes of their ruckus down the tunnel with nervous eyes. Pay attention. The sooner that we get this... Oh.
Sooner we get this done, sooner we can go.
Your voice is a dry whisper, and your nerves tingle with energy. You feel the same apprehension that the others do, but unlike them, you relish it. Still, you look over your shoulder, just in case.
We're hurrying, Captain Gregor. Honest.
One of the men addresses you. When you turn back, the others have redoubled their efforts, and you feel a pleasurable twist in your gut as they fill the cart. Being a captain of the guard doesn't pay much, but it does allow you to visit the armory without raising eyebrows, and with Coinmaster Zoltan selling off half the battery's arsenal, who's going to notice a few more missing pieces? Besides, you've got a buyer lined up, as long as you can move these goods out of the battery before someone squeals. As you surface from the memory, you realize that an awakening will be permanent for Owena. There may be others around town you could awaken instead. You look up to find Owena staring at you.
Sir? Excuse me, sir. You all right?
Her head is cocked and her brow furrowed. So we can awaken a captain of the guard, or we can go try and find somebody else. Let's go try and find somebody else first. And then, if not, we will awaken her. We know for sure we at least have one person that we can get back, but it's a captain of the guard who is already selling stuff from the armory, so maybe he isn't the best person to be relying on in terms of getting us back in. Although he probably would do it for money, being as he's a incredibly merchant-like man. A little bit of a traitor. Go inside. Let's see if anybody in here has a dwarven ancestor. Can humans have dwarven ancestors? Is that a thing that can happen in this world? Should I be checking humans? Might as well, I guess.
You've been busy since we last spoke. I want to thank you for what you've been doing for Stalwart.
You're welcome. Examine her soul. Your awareness settles beneath the Renegild's skin. You find yourself looking through her eyes upon a time-faded memory. You're standing in the inn. The room is stifling, but the body heat of so many furious villagers, not neglecting the fire pit that's drawn sweat from your pores. Your husband waits by the door, but as far as he can get from the assembly, he holds Uldric, whose cheeks are bright as he watches the adults bicker with wide, fearful eyes. You never realize how badly your neighbors stank, but something rank and repulsive rises from them as they pack together in this room.
How much did the old snake pay you, Sina Hiod?
It's grinned, the head fisherman, jabbing a furious finger towards the back of the room. Sinahod, your erstwhile mayor, squirms in a corner, pinned by the accusing stares of the entire village. Oh, those eyes, they're cruel, porcine eyes, and they're watching Sinahod with the dumb gluttony of hogs staring at fodder. The only sight that turns your stomach more is Sinahod himself, trying to wriggle free of his own lies.
Maestro Galvino and I came to an agreement. It was for the good of Stalwart. I thought...
A lump bobs in his throat. A woman in...
Thought you'd let a killer walk among us?
A woman in the middle of the crowd waves her fist. Cries of fierce agreement rise from the others. What began as a collective grumbling is swelling and congealing like storm clouds. You look back at your husband. He's whispering to Uldric, but when you catch his eye, he directs a silent supplication to you.
Let's go.
A wet smack draws your attention to the other end of the room. Someone's throwing a potato, and Sinhad cringes and rubs his jaw. You want to shout at them for this nonsense and waste, but you know this is about to get worse. Stalwart will have blood, and Galvino and his horror had the sense to flee already. You turn again, and your husband is beckoning you with swift, chopping motions. But what stops you, your breath is Uldric. Those little eyes are fixed on the churning mob, and you knew ever since you started hearing about those hideous purges that he'd see something like this one day. But did it have to be so soon? It's what drove that devil woman to madness, and now his little eyes have gotten big enough to swallow the whole scene, and now he's seeing you as part of it. You want to leave now, but if you do, this is what your boy will remember. Cowardice and madness, about people, about Stalwart, about you. The people around you jostle and bark in their rage. They're dangerous animals, but animals nonetheless. They just need to be led. So you push your way to the end of the room where Sinhad trembles in a puddle of his own piss. And
Enough.
your voice boils up from your throat. The others fall silent, watching you. They listen, dumbly trusting, as you turn Sinhad's death sentence into an exile. No one contradicts you when you explain that he's going to march out of the village alone and into whatever miserable hamlet will have him. They silently agree when you explain that their hands are too clean for the likes of him. But there is something else forming behind their eyes, a kernel of trust and dependence. You feel it curdling around you, encasing you like a pearl does sand. You only wanted to spare Sinhad's life, not volunteer for his job, but you see so much fear simmering just beneath their expressions. Fear at God, men marching through the mountains, at deer woodens and their purges, at dying the slow and lonely death of a ghost town. And you see their grateful reassurance mirrored in Uldric's expression. Perhaps this place is hopeless, but you realize that you can't leave it any more than you could leave your boy. The only person who isn't looking at you is your husband. He's shaking his head, his eyes on the door. You retreat from Reningild's memory, vivid though as it is. It has nothing to do with Durgan's battery.
What's on your mind?
Nothing. How about you, Uldric?
I sure hope you were right about killing Baragon. Because when you leave us for milder lands, it's us our kin will come after.
Let's read his soul. You reach for Uldric's essence and find yourself staring at a fence post lying in a filthy slush of frozen mud. Snow gathers around your legs and trickles down your boots. A wind nips at you even through layers of furs. You hold a wood chisel in one numb hand and a mallet in the other. Kneeling over the fence post, you get to work. Hour after hour you hammer away, feeling the tools grow heavy in your grip as your breath fogs your vision. You want to do better work than this. You can do better work than this. But no one's building new houses in Stalwart. The last table you crafted was put into the fishery, and pike entrails now trace the fine dovetail joints you so lovingly carved. Now you mend the stockade, because that's what's needed. The chisel slips, skidding along your hand. You gasp, but you hold up your hand to see, much to your relief, that all 5 fingers are wiggling back at you. You need to get out of this town. You pull back from Uldric's mind. He's still staring into the fire, seemingly lost in his own memories too.
Something else you need?
Nope. You're not helpful. We really need to find a person that we don't care about. Well, you know what? We don't really care about her. We could probably just awaken her soul and hope the captain will be mercenary-like towards us. You know what? Let's just go do that. Is there any more houses we want to try? Taina's house, maybe? We'll give one more house a try. If not, we'll just go awaken the dwarf cleaner person, and then we'll call it a day. Go to the battery. We've been spending too much time in this town as it is.
Got to speak up? My hearing ain't what it was.
You feel her essence humming and buzzing. Another personality and a set of memories lies dormant within her soul, convulsing as if in a fitful sleep. The contours of that dormant soul are sharp, ragged. As you reach out for it, it seizes you violently. Oh, I got the hiccups. You're standing in a darkened feast hall. Sturdy tables and benches have been stacked against the door at the far end of the room. You know it won't be enough. A few dozen other dwarves from your tunneling crew wait with you, shovels and pickaxes in their shaking hands.
Sinove, please. If we go now, we can get behind the barricade. We won't do any good here.
One man turns towards you. He's right, and you hear agreement in the quiet murmur of the others, but Arms Warden Muron ordered you to hold your ground here. Yet, in those rising whispers, you hear the opening bars of mutiny. You never tolerated insubordination from your crew, and you aren't about to start, so you heft your pickaxe and swing it into the man's skull. He collapses, and the others fall silent. The acrid odor of urine rises from the body.
We're gonna go down fighting. Anyone who feels differently can settle it with me right now.
Your voice is hoarse from hours of shouting orders, but no one else moves. They cast their eyes down in the flickering torchlight. Something thuds against the door. The others raise their weapons, picks, shovels, and a few swords, but they don't dare flinch. Your own pulse pounds at your temples. You pull back from Taina's soul, but you feel Zenevieve's wrath and ferocity tugging at you still. Her essence thrashes, lashing out at an unseen enemy. Zenova is powerful, but dangerous too. Her fury has anchored her to the old and threatening memories. Taina, however, seems unaware of any of this, and she blinks back at you with cloudy, placid eyes. Alright, let's awaken her. Let's try that. A tremor passes through Taina's face, and then her rumpled skin goes slack. After a racking cough, she blinks like someone slowly coming into consciousness.
That name. It carries memories of death, war, fury, the taste of blood. What do you want with it?
Her eyes have grown unusually clear. What have you done to her, Eltimar? I need to enter the battery.
What trickery is this, stranger? You think a Pargrin would so easily betray her own people?
Her hands clench and unclench around an imaginary weapon. Zenova's essence stirs within the same battle-ready fervor you sensed in her memory from Durgan's battery. She is dangerous. Beneath Zenova, Tanya's overwhelmed consciousness struggles. You'd never betray Durgan's battery. Your loyalty is plain to see.
Speak like one who knows me.
Her fury abates and confusion seeps into its place. You test its contours for purchase.
And you're not one of Zoltan's visiting merchants or Exandru's foreign zealots. You're one of us.
Even as Zenove speaks to the old woman, you feel Taina's consciousness recover and steady itself. Would a stranger know of the gilded halls of the battery or the shrine to Abaddon, the patron of all who labor? Or, no, sorry, I haven't been inside Durgan's battery. That's why I need your help. Suspicion is plain on her face, but a chant bursts from her lips seemingly of its own accord. Hammers of Durgan ring loud. May the anvil's deep music resound. Walls of the battery safeguard our works from marauders and wilder alike. Abaddon's faithful travail by the forge and the fires that brighten the ore. She takes a deep breath and her eyelids droop. Inside the old woman's body, the personalities and memories of Zenova and Taina vie for dominance. Zenova is wresting full control from Taina. You feel the old woman's personality nearly smothered beneath Zenova's intensity. Taina fades with every passing second, but it may still be possible to pull her to the surface. We could help her, which is probably the good thing to do, but we're an evil group. So what do we care if this dwarf gets her personality back? And Zenova might actually help us. We're gonna do the evil thing. We're gonna push Taina's essence down, allowing Zenova to fully emerge. Zenova seizes control with a ferocity that jostles Taina's frail limbs. She looks up at you and her furious gaze is one of a woman still lost in violent, distant memories. It's too much for Taina's dying consciousness. It shrivels and vanishes as Zenova now is in full control of Taina's body. Attacks. Oh, she attacked us. That's not cool. Well, that was a little bit bad of us. Sorry. I guess we'll steal all of her stuff over here. I'm a monster. That was horrible of me. I feel a little bit bad about that. We just stole all of her stuff after killing her. I'm gonna go with my bad, and everyone makes mistakes, right guys? That's just something that happens. It's a natural thing, and you know, shit happens. That's all we're gonna say about that. What else do we have to do in this town? So we have that done. We have to open the battery. We've already technically done those things already. Devil of Carrick. Oh, that's our new rogue. Right, we were going to use her. A rogue would be kind of neat to have. Who do we want to replace, though? The only person I can think to replace would be either Edier or Palagina, but they're so good. But I really want to try out the new rogue. I think we need 2 tanks. So I think Adir and our main character, of course, are important. Pelagina's a maybe. I like Kana a lot, although he is probably one of the most likely ones to get rid of as well. We need a mage and we need a cleric.
Following your lead.
So it's going to be one of these two. That is a really tough choice. Okay, I have an idea. What we're going to do is we're going to go back to the inn. Can we get party members at the inn? I think we can get party members at the inn. I'm going to just see what the rogue is like in terms of stats. She is a melee DPS, I believe. Although if she's ranged DPS, then I'll replace Kana. Because then she can use a bow. She can use the storm bow or whatever it's called. Storm strike. If not, then I'll replace Pelagina, who is good, but I really, really want to try the rogue out. It's just what I want to do. I want to try the new character, of course, in the expansion. Why would... This is not the right house. We'll take a look at her weapon skills. We'll take a look at her abilities. If she's good with bows, we will have a bow rogue. If she is terrible with bows, we will have a melee rogue. Why did I go to that house? The inn is very clearly over here. I know that we can make it like a super powerful... we could make a min-max party with great ease if we just bought our own characters, but that's not the way we're going to play through this game. I like using the pre-built NPCs as much as possible, especially in the first playthrough. If I was doing Path of the Damned with Iron... What's it called? Like Iron Will or whatever it's called. The thing where you can't save. Then I would build a min-max party to do it with.
Hands, eh? What can I do for you?
I'd like to hire on some help. Safety numbers, blah, 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 whatever. We just need this. Okay, so we're going to throw Kana back in there for now. The Devil of Carrick is who we're going to swap him with. We could buy a level 12 adventure, 3,000 bucks each.
Well,
alright, so she has a spear, which leads me to believe that she is a melee rogue. She has crappy endurance, but let's take a look. Okay, so she's got 13 might. 10 con. 10 dex. Perception 16, not bad. Which means she has good accuracy and reflex. Intelligence, and resilience, pretty good. What are her skills? So she's got good mechanic skill, good stealth skill, kind of mediocre athletic skill. She's immune to blind, charmed, confused, dominated, unconscious. She can't use food, drinks, drugs. She's immune to disease, poison. She has zealous focus and stuff like that. Okay, so her abilities are sneak attack. Is that melee only? Sneak attack's kind of neat. So she's a weapon-focused peasant. So she's got hatchet, spear, quarterstaff, hunting bow, and unarmed. She can do backstabbing. She can use any weapon, but she must be within 2 meters. That's really close. She has deflecting blow, devastating blow, shadowing beyond. What's that do? Temporarily turn invisible and sneak attack. Gotcha. Bloody slaughter. Hits converted to crits. So she uses spears, which is neat. And staves, actually, right? Was that what it was? Hatchet, spear, quarterstaff, hunting bow. So she could use the other bow we have, or the other soulbound weapon that we have, the weird staff. But is she good enough to replace Kana? I mean, she's okay. But she's just okay. That's what it is. That's what it boils down to. She's not... I don't think she's good enough to replace Kana, to be honest. Even if we deck her out in gear. Like, this soulbound staff, she'd have to upgrade it. Which means she needs to kill 5 animats to unlock it. It's already exceptional, though. It does a fair bit of damage. Do we want her? I'm going to go with no. I'm going to take Kana back.
Back to warm your hands, eh? What can I do for you?
It's a tough call, but I don't... She's not as good as Kana, just straight up. Because Kana's stats are much better. Like, if we look at Kana, he's got 16 might and 14 and 18, and he has no resilience, but he doesn't need it because he stands at the very back. His dex kind of sucks, but whatever. Arcana, I think, is just hands down better. Now, my inventory is a little bit messed up, so we are at the end of the video anyways. I'm going to end it here. In the next video, we're going to go back to the Durgan's Battery map, finish up exploring the area, and then we are going to go into the battery itself. So, like always, if you guys have any suggestions or comments, please leave them below. Otherwise, I'll see you guys next time.